Welcome to Irish Football Weekly. I am one of the two hosts, Josh Benjamin. Thanks for joining us here on The Grueling Truth. You can catch our show anytime you like on our website, thegruelingtruth.net. We're also on Stitcher, Spreaker, iTunes. We also have an app for iPhones, with The Grueling Truth to subscribe to, so that you can listen to any of our shows anytime you like on that app. We also are on Google Music and iHeartRadio. My other host, my awesome host, my friend, Tony Hunter, is with us today as well. Tony, how's it going today?
Oh, it's SC week, Josh. It's always a good week when it's SC week.
Absolutely. And the school's website says Notre Dame-USC, enough said, and that is exactly right. And you probably could speak to that more than I can, obviously.
Oh, absolutely, Josh. You know, when I played my freshman year, I started the first game that I played in my freshman year at Notre Dame. And in that year, we had played maybe 3-4 games before the SC game came up. So I was real familiar with the format as far as practice leading up to the game. Well, when we got to that fifth game, the SC game, it was just a totally different environment. The practices picked up, guys were yelling, "It's SC week." I mean, it was real physical all week in practice. It was just a totally different atmosphere when it was time to play USC.
Yeah, I can only imagine. We can talk about some of those times here in just a few minutes, but wow, this Saturday kickoff is at 7:30 on NBC, of course, and this is the 89th meeting amongst the two universities in football. And Notre Dame leads that, by the way, 46, 37, and 5. There's 5 ties.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah. So we got the upper hand when it comes to record. And also Brian Kelly, he's 4-3 against them, so that definitely helps. But let's go ahead and talk about some past memories, Tony, if you don't mind, of just the game in general, and like you said, the practices up until then and so on.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I can remember that first game I played against USC as a freshman. We played Notre Dame at home. I think they won that game, but I think I ended up catching maybe 5 or 6 balls and for over 100 yards, and really had a fun time playing that game. And then my senior year, we played USC at the Coliseum, and we beat them. We beat them pretty convincingly, if I remember right. But we beat them there, and I forget exactly what my stats were, but I ended up winning the MVP, ABC's Most Valuable Player of the game. It was my senior year. It was the last time I played USC. It was the last game of my Notre Dame career, which made it all the better to beat USC, go out on a winning note against USC. So those were special times.
There is probably no one else in the world that can understand that feeling, because I'm just thinking right here as a fan, as a person that talks about Notre Dame football with you, and being a senior in college, Division I football player at the place that you love the most against the rival that you can't stand the most, I would say, and you beat them convincingly at their place, by the way, in the college.
Oh, yeah.
I've never obviously played Division I football or even there at USC, but I can only imagine what that atmosphere is like. And getting an award to top off your college football career, I mean, that's so amazing.
Oh yeah, and that's I talked to a lot of NFL scouts after that, and they were that really helped me going into the draft to win the MVP of that nationally televised game, and it just made me feel all the better. There was USC that we beat on national television. And it was really the last game of my collegiate career.
So, talking about USC a little bit, they have finally, and I guess Notre Dame's kind of in the same boat. They've struggled for a few years or a couple years, even maybe a little more than that, and have finally gotten back into the rankings consistently. And Notre Dame's doing that as well. And we're both kind of in the same. When I say we, I mean both universities are in kind of the same boat of trying to take that next step to getting back to greatness. And
right.
This, I think,
well,
huge.
Yeah, USC is ranked 11 right now. my understanding is, and Notre Dame is ranked at number 13. So it's going to be a classic matchup. I think USC is 6-1 right now. The biggest thing that I see going into this game is Notre Dame's strength on offense is our offensive line and our running game. USC's strength has been their defensive line, but they have a situation right now where they're missing quite a few guys on that defensive line. I think their best defensive lineman was a guy by the name of Josh Fatu. And I believe he was in an accident this past week. And right now he's in the concussion protocol. So he may or may not play in that game. So that would be huge for Notre Dame. And they also have Kenny Bigelow, who supposedly he's a good defensive tackle, one of the better defensive tackles. And they're saying that he may be medically retiring and joining the coaching staff here this week. And then USC's coming off a very physical, come-from-behind win against Utah last week. And Notre Dame has had a week to rest. So they're coming off a bye week. They're rested. For the most part, I think we're healthy. It's a good opportunity for Notre Dame to come away with a win. We're at home. There's no excuse why we shouldn't come away with a win in this game. And I think that'll put us in the top 10, to be honest with you, Josh.
Yes, and I think kind of looking ahead here a little bit past this game, if they win this game, which I think they definitely can, being at home, being under the lights, with the weapons that offensively we had, with the offensive line that we have that you talked about. So the offensive line, let me touch on them for just a second. They were just named to the midseason honor roll for the Joe Moore Award, which identifies basically offensive line units played through essentially 2 weeks ago, through 5
Wow.
games. So that's a great acknowledgement from whoever is actually a part of that, but to pick out our offensive line unit, that is, I mean, they're instrumental in our success, obviously. And
no question about it.
McGlinchey, who's a senior captain, and left guard Quentin Nelson have done a nice job, just picking two of them out for junior Josh Adams and those guys in the backfield.
Oh, yeah. That's definitely the strength or the foundation of our team this year, that offensive line. And with the running attack of Josh Adams and Brandon Wimbush, with USC right now, they're going to be, it looks like they're going to be shorthanded coming in defensively against us. And that's an advantage that Notre Dame has to take advantage of. If they're losing some of their key guys, they're missing some of their key guys, then we have to, run that football, get physical with them, and really take advantage of that. So, I mean, I feel really good going into this game. There are a lot of things that are leading up to this game that are real positive for Notre Dame. It's just a matter of us taking advantage of it, and I think we will. I really think we will.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, and the kind of flipping to the defensive side just a little bit here. They're going to go up against a really highly touted quarterback in Sam Darnold, and that guy is getting NFL looks. They want him to come out early, possibly. This is supposed to be the NFL draft that has one of the best core of quarterbacks coming out with him involved in that. And he's done a decent job this year, in my opinion. He's thrown for 15 touchdowns and 9 picks, which is not bad. It's not terrible, but it seems like he's underachieving just a little bit. But he is one of the nation's elite quarterbacks. So despite how young he is, he's a contender for the Heisman Trophy, and he could be dangerous, especially against teams that give him the opportunity to be consistent and have a nice rhythm. So I think.
Oh yeah. And I'm sure he's loaded with talent at the skill positions. USC always is. Athletically, they're usually just a notch above us coming into the game as far as athletic talent. But I think this is the first time in a long time, Josh, where I feel like the talent, the athletic talent that we have on Notre Dame's side is equal to, if not better, than USC. This is the first time I've seen this in a long time going into a game. But, Notre Dame's talented. Notre Dame's a very talented team on both sides of the football. And I don't think USC is used to seeing this much athleticism coming from Notre Dame as they'll see this weekend. But I tell you, things are lining up right, and it's just a matter of our guys having the right attitude, coming out, being physical, and taking it to these guys. It's time to get it done.
And I think along with that, talking about Coach Kelly, he made a statement after the North Carolina game about the offense, and he said that they were very, I can't remember the exact word, but lack of a better term, gutsy play calling, and maybe it was confident play calling. I can't remember exactly. So, but anyway, what I'm trying to say is that, so I want that to continue. Obviously, if it's working, things like that are going on. They're getting a great rhythm. Now, Brandon Wimbush is back at quarterback, according to what he said in the press conference this week. So he's back, ready to roll. Hopefully that injury is good to go. He's 100%. And but I think it's important to keep that type of play calling mentality throughout this game and throughout the rest of the season, because that could, I mean, you tell me, Tony, but isn't that the thing that will keep the offense rolling as a unit?
Oh yeah, Josh, absolutely. I've been really impressed with the Notre Dame offensive coordinator. The things that he's doing with a young Brandon Wimbush, even though I've seen him struggle early in games, and a lot of times there's a tendency to get away from letting him try to throw the football or letting a young quarterback try to throw the football. They'll revert back to the running game. But with this offensive coordinator from Notre Dame, I've seen that he lets Brandon Wimbush continue to throw the football, continue to develop, and I've been really impressed by that.
I totally agree, and I think with the passing game this week, it's got to be crucial that it's consistent. They make the catches, and he makes the right reads, because we are definitely run heavy and successful at that. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But I think, like you said, they may load up that box, 8-9 guys even, run man coverage, and now they're looking at, hey, we got to throw the ball a little bit. And so maybe getting outside the pocket here and there. I know that if the injury, kind of hinders them, but that's what they have to do, in my opinion.
Yeah, we're going to, as we get into the meat of our schedule, which we are now, they're going to, guys, we're going to have a lot of talent over there on that defense. You're going to have, and they're familiar with Notre Dame. We're known for running the football, and they're going to start loading up the box. And we're going to have to throw the football in order to be successful on offense. And, I think Brandon Wimbush, he has the talent to throw the football. He's a very talented runner, and I like his throwing motion, and I like the touch that he has on his passes. But I just think he needs experience doing it. And from what I've seen so far from our offensive coordinator, they're giving him that experience. And I think he's just going to get better and better.
I agree. And something to think about, too, as a fan is if things start to go south a little bit, or maybe Brandon's hobbling around a little bit, don't be surprised if Ian Book comes back in and slings the ball.
Yeah.
He's able to run the football, too, and he can get out of the pocket as well. So that's another option that Coach Kelly has. Because I liked Ian Book last year, and I like him this year. I think he's a talented passer, and he looks confident out there. He looks composed under the lights. So I like Ian Book. I'm not afraid if he has to get in there and take over the offense. I think he'll do a good job, but he has to prove that. I agree, and I think SC, their game plan, just going back to that, I think it's stop Josh Adams. I think it's push him, the quarterback, when I'm referring to, back outside the pocket to make them run and make them win that way. That's what I think. And I think they'll mix it up. I think they'll have some rushing, pass rushing up the gut so that he has to get outside and move around. I think they'll mix it up with guys coming off the edge. I think it's going to be a thing where it's going to be tested quite a bit in this game with Brandon Wimbush or Ian Book, whoever is back there behind center, on how they're going to win the game offensively for the Irish, I think.
Right. I agree. I think, and our defense, they impressed me more last week than they have and then our defense has in a long time. They're being stern against the run. Our defensive backs are covering in man coverage a lot better. Guys are flying to the football a lot more so than last year. It just seemed like every opposing running back we would face, they would have career days against us, and the quarterbacks as well. But that's not the case this year. It's like the difference is like night and day between the way our defense is playing, the way we played last year and the way we're playing right now. So I look forward to seeing what they're going to do against a talented USC team. But we have a talented defense too. We have a lot of talent over on the defensive side of the ball as well.
We absolutely do. And, going off what you're saying about, comparison to last year, this year's defense and who they're going to play, this coming Saturday, 2 weeks ago when they played North Carolina, QB hurries, they had 11 of them. They had 7 pass breakups, and they had 5 tackles for loss. And now I know that doesn't speak anything to about who we're getting ready to play, but I think that speaks volumes in our transition of going from last year to this year and moving forward throughout this season. And if they continue to play assignment football and they continue to be aggressive and play as a unit, I think they're going to win this game. And who knows, if things start going south for SC, they may get out of their game plan, and it may be a long night for the Trojans.
Yeah. I think, they're coming, like I said, they're coming off of a very physical game against Utah, where they had to come from behind to win it, and they'll be missing some of the guys, and it's just seemed like I remember back when I was playing, a lot of times we would play against Miami, and they would have a bye week, or even USC, they may have a bye week, or play against a much lesser opponent before they played us. And they were always raring to go. They were rested and ready to go. It's good to see Notre Dame in that position for a while. We had a bye week. We're rested. We're healthy. And we're ready to go be physical. And that's what it's going to take.
Yeah, and having that extra bye week helps the coaches, helps the game plan, helps figure out themselves by self-scouting. And with what I've seen the last few weeks with how they have reacted in the second half, and this goes back more than just a few, maybe even all season, of how to make adjustments at halftime as a staff to give that information to the players and be able to understand they need to execute this new abbreviated plan, I think that's outstanding. And I think this year, going along with those things is the relationships, and I think all across the board, those things right there could carry the team to a win this week, not just because of the play that we have, but because of the communication, because of the adjustments. I think those are so crucial, and I think that's an important piece to this week.
Oh, yeah, I agree 100%, Josh.
And so, Tony, I'm going to ask you a question here. If we were to pick 3 things, and we each had to pick 3, and we're going to choose separate things, hopefully, of 3 things that would have to happen this Saturday for the Irish to pull off the win and beat the Trojans, what 3 things would have to happen in your mind?
I would say, first of all, that our offensive line, they're going to have to control the line of scrimmage. Our offensive line is going to have to control the line of scrimmage, and that will enable us to run or to pass. Defensively, I would say that we're going to have to get after USC from our defensive line and be physical, and that our defensive backs show the athleticism that they have been showing. And basically, I would say that Brandon Wimbush needs to be healthy and able to run the football as well as pass the football. So those are the 3 things. I think Brandon Wimbush is going to be crucial in this game.
Okay. Okay, so you said control the line of scrimmage, have a good pass rush to, kind of disrupt that passing game, and then the offense to be kind of balanced, hopefully.
A healthy Brandon Wimbush that's able to run the football as well as pass it.
Well, those are all three very important. And, I was going to think of three. I don't know if I can because those are pretty spot on. I think that the special teams game has to be pretty important because it could come down to a field goal, and it could come down to a 2-point conversion. It could come down to some coverage issues. And so I think that's really important to not forget about that.
Right.
I think the play of our running backs catching the ball in the backfield, I think that may come into play because, like I said, I truly think that they're going to load the box defensively for the Trojans, and they're going to make him throw the ball. And to get those backs efficient and get those guys in open space, kind of like short passes for them to run the ball, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that's really important. If I had to choose a third thing, I just think that no matter what happens, they continue to play their game. Whether it's a turnover, whether something great happens, they don't get too hyped, they don't get too low. They keep that even keel mentality and keep plugging away because teams that get emotional sometimes get disrupted and they kind of lose track of what's going on, really. So
right.
So I think those three things. So we got a total of 6 awesome pieces there that will help the Irish win. We're gonna go ahead and we'll come back to our Irish prediction, of course. But I want to talk about the 3 toughest picks. I'd rather not talk about them, to be honest with you, Tony, because I literally am terrible this year, and I just don't know what to say because I'm a little embarrassed, to be honest. I mean a lot.
Still a lot of football to play, Josh. Still a lot of football to play.
Well, let me change your mind with that because let me tell you your record and I'll tell you mine, and I'm going to tell you it's almost mathematically impossible. So let me tell you your record. You're 10-5, by the way, which is pretty good in my opinion. Me, not so much, and I'm more the opposite of that. I'm like 4-11. So
wow.
Yeah, that's bad. I know. You don't have to sugarcoat it. It's terrible.
Hey. So I better not let you come back and win this thing.
Hey,
that's for sure.
Yeah, so the pressure's a little on you too. I don't have nothing.
Right.
I can
Exactly.
I can pick whatever I want.
Exactly.
So we have three tough games this week. That besides the Notre Dame game, obviously, we have 3. Number 19 Michigan at number 2 Penn State. That's a huge game in the Big Ten.
Oh, that's huge. That's huge. You know what? I love that running back from Penn State. Man, is he a handful. And they're at home. I'm going to go with Penn State.
Okay, you pick Penn State. Oh, man, and Michigan looked a little rough last week, too. Man, I don't know how I can't go with Penn State, but I'm going to go with them anyway because I need some wins, and I know I need you to lose, so I hope you win that one.
I wouldn't underestimate Jim Harbaugh. They're having a tough time this year. They're kind of up and down, but so it wouldn't totally surprise me if they went into Penn State and won. But I tell you that kid at running back for Penn State is unbelievable. So that's why I have to go with them.
All right, fine. I switch my pick. I'm picking Michigan. I'm going with Michigan. I'm going against you because you talked me into it. You gave me reasons why I should pick.
Yeah, you can't underestimate Jim Harbaugh, man. What he's going to do? He may have those guys ready to run through a brick wall and win that game. So I wouldn't be too surprised if they were to pull it off.
Yeah. So. All right, so we're different there, so I do hope you lose that game. The next game is Syracuse, who just pulled off a huge win in NCAA football against the Clemson Tigers, beating them
right.
I think a Thursday or Friday night last week. And
that shocked the college football world, that win.
So it brought them into our 3 toughest picks category here, our segment. And, we have Syracuse going away, but it's an ACC match at number 8 Miami. So they're traveling to Miami of Florida and playing those guys.
You know what? They're going to have a letdown. They're going to have a letdown. They're going to warm Miami. It's going to be beautiful. Miami's tough this year. I'm going to go with Miami. I don't think Syracuse will be able to pull back-to-back weeks of big wins like that. I'm going Miami.
Yeah, I'm with you. I agree. I'm choosing Miami as well. Just it's such a big win. I'm sure they're still partying about it and talking about it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I don't see how Miami loses this game, so I'm going with Miami as well. Last game, the SEC matchup, a good rivalry. It's number 21 Auburn traveling to Arkansas to play the Razorbacks.
Wow, that's some hard-nosed football in the dirty South. Well, they're going to Arkansas.
Yeah.
And what's Arkansas ranked this year? Are they ranked?
They are not ranked, but Auburn just lost, correct me if I'm wrong, to LSU, I believe.
Yeah, LSU, they made a huge comeback last week. They did. I was just about ready to give up on them for the season. But I want to say Arkansas will prevail at home.
Okay, so you have Arkansas. I'm going to go against the grain here, and when I mean grain, I mean you. So I'm gonna take Auburn, okay? Because I think they're gonna, get refocused, come back, and definitely win this game against those guys out in Arkansas because of that last.
Oh yeah, that's another game that can go it can go either way because, like I said, it's good football being played down there in the dirty South. And it could go either way.
Okay, well, that is the three toughest pick segment. Hopefully you come out, let's see, you come out 1-2, and I come out 2-1, or that.
Try to close the gap a little bit, huh?
Yeah, a little bit. We'll see. All right, so Irish prediction time, Tony. We gave some key elements to win the game. We talked about the rivalry. You gave some different, scenarios and when you played and some memories that you shared with us. What's the prediction this week?
All right. I'm feeling good going into this one. I feel good about the offense. I think USC's coming off a very physical come-from-behind win. I think they're going to be a little nicked coming into this game. I think we're rested. I'm going to say Notre Dame 35. I'm going to say USC 24.
All right. You heard it here, folks. USC losing by 11 to Notre Dame, 35-24, and Irish prediction for Tony. I'm going to go a little bit closer, and in fact, I'm going to go by a 1-point win. I think it's going to come down to some missed opportunities on both sides, and I think USC is going to have the ball last, and they're going to get stopped. There's not going to be a Bush push or anything like that from the 05 game, if you guys remember correctly. Reggie Bush giving that push to Matt Leinart to kind of seal the deal there up in Notre Dame. But I think Notre Dame's going to win 24-23, and I think it's going to be a battle royale this Saturday, and the Irish are going to pull it off and be victorious there. So we both got Notre Dame winning this week against a tough opponent, a huge rivalry game up in Notre Dame this Saturday evening on NBC. So, all right. We got a fun fact for the finish. It's not really an extremely good fun fact because it kind of hurts. It makes both programs look a little bad in some respects. So this is the first time since 2009, Tony, that both teams have been ranked when they've played each other. And that's been a
The first time since when?
2009.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
interesting.
That's almost a decade.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so like I said earlier, kind of both programs trying to battle to get to the top there in the top 25, and they've been trying to get back to the glory days per se for both programs.
Right.
So this is the first time since 2009 that both teams have been ranked when they played each other. So.
Wow. Yeah, that is very interesting.
Well, Tony, that was a great show. It was awesome. I really enjoyed your memories, by the way, and hopefully listeners did too. And that kind of wraps up our show this week for Irish Football Weekly. By the way, I totally forgot. I don't know why I didn't remember this in the beginning here. But we have a Facebook page, Irish Football Weekly, that we have out there now. And if you follow, add Tony or I as a friend on Facebook, you can definitely be a part of that. You get to see all the shows on there as well. Not only there, but our website, thegruelingtruth.net. It has tons of shows besides ours, like my show, The Real Deal. Tony has a show as well, and talk some Rams football. But we are also on Stitcher, Spreaker, Google Music, iTunes, which, like I said earlier, has an app for The Grueling Truth you subscribe to and get to listen to us and tons of other great shows anytime you like. We're also on iHeartRadio, so tons of great media places to listen to us. I'm also on Twitter. If you search @CoachJB4, you can find me on there. Follow me as well. So that's a wrap this week for the listeners, for us. Watch the game. You'll probably see us on Facebook chit-chatting there. So tweet something out and tag me in it. But big game this week, and so that's it. That's all for Irish Football Weekly. For my co-host Tony Hunter, I'm Josh Benjamin signing off for Irish Football Weekly. Go Irish!
Go Irish!